Today, let's work on building the front radius links. First, 90 something percent, I think we're down to 89% of you all that are watching this aren't subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe. It helps our numbers, which numbers aren't that great, but it still helps in the long run. So if you would, please hit the subscribe button wherever it's at, and it's greatly appreciated. So we got the tube cut pretty much in half. It's a little long, which is fine because we need to do our notches and everything. But you can kind of see the lineup of what we're going for. We will be mounted back in here somewhere, so this is all be cut off. But this angle here is going to give us a really good turning radius. If you can see, if you just draw a straight line out from this and went back to this way, we wouldn't have very much turning at all, which if we're on the salt flats, you just want to go straight, not a big deal, but we're going to be taking it few different places, so we want to make sure we could be able to turn properly. The plan is we're going to kind of see where we're got a line here. We're going to end up notching this tube to come out this way, so that slides back to here. So we have a kind of an L weld going on to it, and then once we get that all welded up, we'll probably put like a little curved gusset through here just to strengthen it up. Maybe a few holes in it or something. I'm not sure yet. That's the plan. In the back here to mount, we're going to have some 1-inch tube with quarter wall, which will drill through the actual frame and weld it back here, weld it here. It'll stick out here. We're going to notch around the tank for that to come out, and then we'll put a Heim joint out here, a weld-in bung, and it'll be able to bolt right in. Then we'll repeat the process on the other side. So you can kind of see from this angle, our tube's offset out here. We're going to end up notching through here, cut this out, we'll slide that through, then we'll be able to weld up all through here and around through here. Mark that. We have a mark there, and we have our mark there. That's what we'll go ahead and notch that first. Bring it here, slide it in, see how it fits, do a little trimming, get that set perfect, and then we'll get everything cleaned up and get our adjustments and get our overall lengths. So we got that little piece notched, but we're going to change this up a little bit since we have kind of a gap around through here. We're going to take a piece of angle and we'll end up cutting that. We're going to trim a little bit through here, get that so we can weld up a good solid base, and then we'll take our actual tube and weld around to that. So now we have it flush there. We're going to bring it up probably like a heavy 8 3/16 so we can weld it, get good penetration everywhere, and then we can go back and clean this up and make it look pretty. So this kind of give you an idea of our layout. We do have the angle piece on and welded. We'll have to clean up the rest of it later, but you can kind of see how we have our notch here to go around, so we'll end up welding all that. First, we went ahead and measured back about where we're going to come with the frame. You can kind of see that line there. We'll end up cutting this out to notch, and then we'll have our line here with our tube that's going to be put through there. We'll cut that line here to put our weldable bung in, which is here. So we'll slide that. So we'll slide that into the tube there, weld it up. So we got a 1-inch hole cut on both sides to accept our 1-inch quarter wall tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide it in and keep it probably 3/8 sticking out on the inside here, so we can weld it up real good, weld it here real good. We'll get some measurements here and we'll cut this tube here. So we got our tube lined up where we want it to go. We have our 3/8 or so sticking out here, which is good. And then we're going to figure out what we need here. The easiest thing to do is kind of line this up, the bung with this, line it up there, and we'll make a mark. We have here. Go ahead and cut this off, and then we'll stick this in, see how it fits, how it lines up with the hole. Everything looks good. We'll go ahead and weld this up. Once that's welded up, we can weld up the other end down there and get all this welded up, and this side will be done. So we have both ends of our wishbone capped off with that angle iron like we did yesterday. Both sides are the same. We have both of our links cut. We got both ends notched, and then we have our Heim joint weld in bungs here. Once you clean off, deburr it, should slide right in, be tight. If you do notice, we do bevel the edge of this just to help with penetration of the weld. So you almost have like a little V notch here. So we'll go ahead and get both of these welded up. And we'll get these cleaned up. I'm not going to grind them and everything yet because we still have finished welding and stuff to do on the frame once we get everything done. Yeah, those like church bells. So we'll get everything semi cleaned up, but finished welding and grinding and all that will be a later time. All right, so now we need to get our tube that goes through the frame welded up. We have our through the frame spacers here. Go ahead and slide them in the hole. And we're spacing the back side thickness of this washer, which is about 3/16. So we'll get that lined up with that. That's pretty good there. So go ahead and get this welded up pretty much on the top and what we can reach. And just like everything else, we'll finish up welding once we take the tank off and do all of our final welding and stuff like that. So get this welded, we'll jump to the other side, get that welded up, and then we're ready to put in the links. Yeah, we pretty much can't get anything else on this side because of the tank, but that looks good. That looks really good. It's not going anywhere. Next side. All right, we got our Heims put in and got some room for adjustment. I'm going to slide this to where it needs to go. Our bolt. Put that in there. So that's tight there. And then I'll pull, make sure we're tight down through here. And I'll tack it. All right, with that pulled over there tight that way. Heim is touching there. Good. Okay. Okay, so we're on there. We're on there. This I don't like because it seems like if you push it, that could kink it. So what we're going to do, we're probably end up making, we'll measure off of here our distance, but I know we have some room, which is this crazy lock, which is bottoming out on the axle. So in reality, we could get our stop to there, and the tire and stuff would come out to right in here somewhere. So I think we're going to end up making a plate that cuts through here, maybe put some holes in it, kind of match everywhere else. But I think that'll stiffen that up quite a bit. So that's the next step. So I went ahead and made a template. You can see here, we'll split that down the middle, get some holes. And then the bottom where this part is a little bit bigger than the tube, we'll have a little angle piece there. And then up here, just to stiffen it up more, we'll have one spot here. So we'll go ahead and make both of those, or actually all three of those for each side. And we'll get them installed. But I think that's going to eliminate worst case if we did hit something pushing here and that's snapping. We're gonna have some support there and there, so I think it's going to tie it in really well. Plus those little speed holes tie us into the back here as well. So we got our 3 brackets and tabs for both sides cut. Now we'll just get them tacked into place. We have the left side tacked in. We got the front gusset, back gusset, and then we got an extended tube down here that we cut back. So once we get everything taken apart, we'll finish welding everything up, get the insides done. But overall, I think that looks pretty good. So go ahead and do the right side, and then our front end is complete. Both sides are in. I think it turned out really well. Here's the other side. Well, radius links are in. Not the most exciting stuff to make, but it is needed. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Again, the majority of you all that are watching the videos aren't subscribers. Every little bit helps, so I appreciate it. Next bit coming up, we do have some 37 Chevy shocks that we got for the front. And then we have our steering stuff should be here this week, so we can start working on the steering, get all that in. We're going to make some hoops and some support braces, things like that. Once the steering and everything's done, I think we're going to have to make our own steering yoke off of like an old Mustang or Spitfire airplane. That's going to be our steering wheel, but you really can't find those. They're very expensive if you can find them. So we're going to make one. Which steering wheel should I build for the belly tank racer? A, B, or C? Please comment below. Lots more to come. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you soon.